My first obligation as a volunteer advocate is to make sure that the victim is all right and that they're safe. Sometimes they might be by themselves, and going through that kind of experience is really hard. It might be the first time they've ever talked about it. So they're carrying a lot of emotional weight. They'll tell me their history and the relationship behaviours and how they're feeling, and I use that information to do a risk assessment. For some clients, it might be the first time the police have been called, or even the first time it's ever happened. So there's a series of questions we have that we ask in order to determine their level of risk. Often the conversation is so organic that they just end up answering them anyway. Some clients are aware of their options, so they'll say to the police, I need help with this, or I want a protection order. And in those cases, they know what they want and they know what they need information on. But for others, they don't know what they want, they don't know what they're going to do, and they don't know what choices they have. Once the risk assessment is done, we talk about a safety plan, and that covers what they'd like to do, what they have in place for their immediate safety. We talk long term, what they'd like to do. We give them the options and we make them aware, but we don't push them into making any decisions, which I think is the point of difference for Shine. The client has no obligation to make any decisions, and that's a massive help because they've already had so much pressure from so many different places, people telling them what to do. The next day, a Shine Advocate team member will get in touch with community resources because we want them to know what's out there. We'll send somebody around and make sure that A, they've got somewhere to stay for the time being, and B, that the new environment security system is adequate. We want them to know that their safety is our priority. I'll also talk to clients with children about KidShine and what KidShine offers, trying to emphasise the effects that domestic abuse can have on children. Sometimes people think that the children who are most affected are those between the ages of 5 and 10 years old, but actually it can have a really profound effect on the brain development of a baby. So once you leave a relationship, the physical trauma should be over, but the emotional impacts can take months, if not years, to get over. I know for myself that not seeing that person, even for a long time, doesn't take away from it affecting your day-to-day life. So, for example, people making loud noises next to me or touching me when I'm not expecting it, it's all still there. And that can take years to rewire. When someone's being emotionally abused, often it may not be recognisable, and I think we normalise it now, which enables it. You know, friends saying things like, well, that's just how it goes, you're always going to have fights, but it's the constant picking away, it's the gaslighting, all that manipulation. You end up believing it, and it gets to the point where it's just about survival, pretty much. You know, you're so exhausted, all you can do is wait out every day. For me, it was like, what day is he going to kill me? Because that's what would have happened. But I'm a survivor, and I'm really proud to be able to volunteer for Shine and help others escape domestic violence. So please support Shine and help people like me leave violent relationships.